3, 2, 1. Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Kyle Henderson along with Coach Smook. Run the thumbs up on this video. Ryan Williams has officially signed with the Alabama Crimson Tide. Here with Coach Smook to break it on down. A 5-star that is more than elite, okay? He is absolutely on fire in every sense of the word here with Coach Smook to break it on down. Look, what's amazing about him is the fact that he reclassified, and he's still one of the top players in the nation in the class of 2024. This is probably the biggest in-state prospect that has ever signed with Alabama, just right after head football coach Kalen DeBoer takes over. Smook, let's talk about Ryan Williams. Where do we begin with an ultimate 5-star slam dunk out the get-go for Coach Kalen DeBoer? Go ahead.
This is, like you said, the home run hire. A lot of people have compared this to the not hire, but the home run signing. A lot of people have compared this to the Julio Jones signing for Coach Nick Saban. Yes, same type of impact, but in this day and age, competing with NIL, collective, and transfer portal, the coaching change to come and replace the GOAT, to come in and secure the state's number one player.
Yeah.
The state's number one player is big as far as your signing. But you look at the measurables, he's basically Devontae Smith all over again, right? You look at his route running, you look at his speed, explosive. He pulls away from defenses, knows how to, contort his body to absorb and roll off of tackles, knows how to get skinny to get him in the tight lanes that's provided for him. I mean, the kid plays everywhere. It's hard to stop him. You see him at punt return right here. Look at the punt return. Just the decisiveness. Look how he just sticks his foot in the ground and gets upfield. And it's almost like as his teammates, you don't want to block for him because you might just get in his way. Mm-hmm. He finds ways to just find the ball. Look at how he high points this ball.
Yep.
Is that not Devontae Smith, LSU, the year he won the Heisman? Literally the same style. And he can line up at the perimeter. He can line. I think at Alabama, we're going to see a lot of him at the Z. That's going to be generally on the same side as the slot. So you can see a lot of combo work with him and some of those slot receivers. But this kid is the home run hire. Kyle, you can't do better than this when you're talking about getting a wide receiver out of this class. Now, if he would have stayed in the 25 class, we would have had like 4 or 5 dudes, because there's 3 dudes in the 25 class that really would have made it, kind of a situation for him. So for him to be able to get here early and reestablish who he is and set that precedence and be the go-to guy for the next group, this is a perfect setup. Big win for Alabama, big win for the state of Alabama and the University of Alabama to keep this kid at home at the school that represents the state the best. And I'm proud of it. Kalen DeBoer, Jamarcus Shepard, Ryan Grubb, that whole staff, shout out to y'all for securing this one.
Ryan Williams is in for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Biggest get in the class of 2024. And remember, this prospect reclassified from LA down in Saraland. And what he was able to do during his high school career has never been done before. And that's winning the Mr. Football Award, not once, but twice. And he's only 16 years old. Please go follow him on social media on Friday. It's actually going to be his birthday. And when you look to all the drama around it, that Auburn was potentially going to make a run at him towards the back end, I think it says a lot about Coach Kalen DeBoer and their overall recruiting philosophy to get him recommitted and then eventually signed. Think about it. This is the second prospect that has ever signed for Coach Kalen DeBoer. So you have Noah Carter coming in, and then you have Ryan Williams to add on top of 2024. What I like about his film, ultra speed. You look at a guy who has top end acceleration. And like you were saying, Coach Smook, like he just has a different field vision that makes him an impact player. I think when he gets to Alabama, he definitely sees the field right away from the jump. And I like a player like this to be utilized in special team situations, right? I don't know, let him return kicks, let him return punts, please, because over the last couple of years, we really haven't had a dynamic punt returner back there. I would like Ryan Williams to do that. But coming in as a wide receiver, specifically under Ryan Grubb offense, I think he's going to make a lot of plays. And they call it the Grub Hub type offense, where everybody gets a chance to eat. Ryan Williams coming in, absolutely gigantic get for the Alabama Crimson Tide. What a glorious day, honestly. Hit the thumbs up. Run the thumbs up on these videos. And I think when we look back, we'll be able to get a better grasp of the impact that he's been able to add. And I think Jalen Mbakwe was certainly one of the key recruiters, right? You look at the fact that these two played against each other in the national title game. And what do they always say against Alabama, right? About Alabama. Savages want to play with savages, right? And iron sharpens iron 100%. Well, guess what? Ryan Williams and Jalen Mbakwe, they are going to go up against each other every single day. Every day, right? So when you get to Saturday, look, there's not going to be a lot of corners that have the same mindset as Jalen Mbakwe, Zay Mincy. So those are the type of players that you're going to play against. And it's up to this coaching staff to continue to develop these players to get to the NFL. And I think they're certainly going to do that. But this is a gigantic get. This is the biggest news happening right now in college football. In terms of signing day, you're watching it right here. And that's Coach Kalen DeBoer stepping in signing Ryan Williams. We're going to look at the overall depth chart of this wide receiver group. Coach, when we look to the overall wide receivers, I'm going to have the depth chart. Let's just talk about the wide receivers, who's coming in, who's returning, where you see Ryan Williams fitting in. Go ahead, Coach. Talk about this wide receiver unit at the University of Alabama.
So if you could, Kyle, I don't know if you have the graphic, but this wide receiver room is probably the most healthiest it's been as far as spread of talent. Not talent in the room, but the spread. You got 3 or 4 burners. My burners right now on this roster, you got Kendrick Law. You have Jeremy Bernard. People are not paying attention to this guy's speed. You have the likes of Amari Jefferson and Arian Hampton sitting there and that are probably going to be rotational at the slot behind Kendrick Law and Emmanuel Henderson. And what did I say, 3 or 4? And then I forgot Ryan Williams. Like, you got 5 burners on the field in your wide receiver room that are legit burners. 4-4 sub 4-4 guys, or 4-3, pushing 4-3s, and they're all could be on the field at the same time. But then you got your big guys also that go up and get the ball. You got radius guys in Jalen Hill. You got Jaron Hamilton, who's a radius guy. You got Rico Scott, who's a young catch radius. I was actually more excited about Rico Scott because I feel like Ryan Williams is very well polished right now. What he does at the next level is not going to be surprising. No matter what year if he goes off his freshman year, it's not going to be surprising because you see what he's doing. Rico Scott is going to surprise people because the type of receiver he's going to be, the possession receiver, he can pull away from you after he catches the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jalen Hill, we already seen how aggressive he is on catching the ball. The kid has a nice catch radius. You look at the likes of Cole Adams, you could slide him at the slot. He's probably going to end up getting an opportunity to be a punt return, a return specialist with all these wide receivers that surround him. And Kobe Prentice is the route technician, the tactician of the whole room. If you want to learn how to run precise routes, great routes, just line up behind Kobe Prentice. Yep. For real, this is you got your route runners, you got your possession receivers, you got your burners. Like Jeremy Bernard and Kendrick Law running deep crossers, we have the speed to run deep mesh concepts with the type of receivers we got and the style of the play calling we're going to see. So I can't wait to see it. I'm a wide receiver guy by heart, Kyle. You play wide receiver. Yep. This group is one that, like, I wouldn't even want to go to this school coming out of high school. Me as a wide receiver, I love competition, but there's no way I'm jumping in here with this group of guys at where I was, how raw I was. Nah, I'm not even going to chance. And I want to get on the field. And so if we don't get a lot of wide receiver recruits in 26 and 27, this is the start of the reason why. Ryan Williams, Jaron Hamilton. Not Jaron Hamilton. Ryan Williams, Amari Jefferson, Rico Scott, Arian Hampton. They're the reason why. And then you got to think next year, French is already on board. We got Travis Smith Jr., who's trending towards us right now.
Even the prospects that are still going out at the receiver position. Marcus Harris from Mater Dei.
Harris? Oh, my God.
And the big man from IMG Academy, that you're going after. It tells you the type of wide receivers that you're going after. And don't get it twisted and just be like, this is just an air raid attack where the running backs aren't going to eat. Because we talked about this many times. Like, Justice Haynes is going to run for 1,000 yards. It's either going to be him or Jam Miller. One of those backs can make 1,000 yards, 100%. But wanted to highlight Ryan Williams. He's in today for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Just a big pickup when you look to in-state prospects. He's Coach Smook. My name is Kyle Henderson, both of Bama Football on YouTube. Run the thumbs up, as we always like to say. This is a gigantic signee for Alabama and head football coach Kalen DeBoer. Ryan Williams is in.
Yes, sir.